but they can have actual products that they can take home and use in their daily lives. And so I launched NOLA, and our mission is to really make self-love and self-care convenient and enjoyable to maintain. So when we make products, we take into consideration your senses. So we want to make sure they taste good, they smell good, they make you feel good. And so if you have not tried it yet, we're back there giving out samples so you can at least try it. And we do ship out throughout the US. But if it's something that you do like, whether you get it tonight or on the website, we can be found at nolaherbaltea.com. That's N-O-L-A herbaltea.com, or on Instagram at nolaherbaltea.
And if you tell us what teas you have?
Yes, so we have 3 main blends. The first one, our Sultry Bliss, has 7 different herbs in there.
Sultry Bliss, ladies and gentlemen.
That one helps with purifying the blood. It also helps promote skin health, so it fights acne-causing bacteria. There's turmeric in there, which is a blood purifier. And then we also have gingerade. Gingerade has everything from moringa seed, cassandra berry, and lemon. And that one helps.
She said cassandra berry.
Cassandra berry, yes. It's similar to elderberry, so it really helps with joint pain. And that one's really good for pulling out heavy metals, toxins in the body, just from the everyday air pollution. And then it also helps, like I said, with joint pain. And then the last one is Euphoria, which is a top seller. That's hibiscus and peppermint, and that one helps regulate weight loss. It helps boost energy as well. So those are the 3 blends that you can try. Yes, so you can follow me on Instagram at Nola Herbal Tea. That's NOLAHERBALTEA, Nola Herbal Tea, or nolaherbaltea.com. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for supporting.
Yes, she said thank you for the support. Appreciate it. So go out there and get some of the sample. If you enjoy it, go ahead and buy it. And also, one of our vendors, our sponsor, tonight, that delicious Red Month vodka. Did anybody try some of that? Anybody get some Red Month vodka? Girl, is it the truth? Yes, it is. Okay, so that's another black-owned.
Hold on, time out, Randy. Was she the only person to raise her hand? Because that jar is almost empty. So there's a lot of capping going on. There's a lot of capping going on in here. Yes, don't cap me through this whole event now, seriously.
Okay, so if you have the juice, they have the Red Month vodka, and that's Charles Barkley's vodka. So definitely we're supporting black-owned business there. And then I see a special shout-out to our client back there, you know, the owner, founder, Food and Lifestyle. Shout-out to Jay Vivo in the back. How you doing, King? Yes. Okay, so I guess I'm going to pass it over to Daniel to do his thing, and thank you all for coming.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for yourselves. All right, so time out. Real quick, if that's what y'all got for yourselves, I don't even want you to clap for us. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Just put your hands together for your own selves. All right, so we are at the Black Media Mixer. I am Mr. Daniel Dickey. I am the founder and lead strategist at the Resource Guild, and the Resource Guild is the creators of this event. Randy O is my lovely executive liaison, and Amethyst Clifton is one of our junior strategists at the door. A little bit about me. I do, of course, own the Resource Guild. The Resource Guild is a high-level strategy consulting agency. In that space, we work with extraordinary brands like One Music Fest, LeBron, Kevin Hart, 2 Chainz, Steve Harvey, events. We've done some of the coolest things that have happened in the city over the past 10, 15 years. I'm also a singer-songwriter. I went to college on vocal scholarship. As a solo artist, I've opened for John Legend, Jagged Edge, Carl Thomas, 112, Ryan Leslie. I performed at NBA All-Star Weekend. And I'm also an activist. I mentor young black men through the Barack Obama Foundation, and I'm also the chairman of the Young Professional Advisory Board for Hosea, Feed the Hungry and Homeless. And I am so grateful for my extraordinary panel. Put your hands together for them again. The Black Media Mixer is about celebrating black media, celebrating black excellence, and we're going to have them introduce themselves. And I guess we'll start over here on my left with Mr. Ray Daniels.
What it do, what it do, what it do?
What up, what up?
If you love God, put a hand in the air real quick if you love God. I just want to establish that first, make sure God is in here. I go by the name of Ray Daniels, radio personality for over 26 years. Don't try to add up my age really quick, but I started at the age of 17. If you're good at math, you can figure that out. Radio was not my first love at all. I wanted to be Bobby Brown when I was young. Yeah, that didn't quite work out, but I did get 4 record deals trying. So when the Bobby Brown thing didn't work out, the whole radio thing started real weird. I went to college to get my demo played at the college radio station, and doing my 5-minute elevator pitch, I was like, I can do this. And they just kept laughing at me. Like, I'm like, what's the hell? This is so funny.
Right, exactly.
I'm trying to get my record played. They say, listen, we ain't gonna play your record, but if you want to be on the radio, we got a slot open for you. I was like, the hell with your radio. I walked in the rain and I thought about it for a minute. I said, wait a minute. If I can be on the radio, then I can play my record. So I turned back, drinks in the way, and I said, I take it. And that happened back in 19. Radio, I didn't come out of college doing radio because I figured out a way to make money using radio. Don't do what I did because it might wind you up in an FCC regulated prison. So, but in college, there's something called, everybody's familiar with payola, but in college I found something called plug-ola. Oh, you know about it. You did it? In college, there's something called plug-ola.
So wait, real quick, we're doing.
Yeah, my name's Ray Daniels. My name's Ray Daniels.
Definitely. I had to establish who I am so you know who's authorized to cut these people off.
The radio job.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's done. Moving. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. How y'all doing? My name is Shashai. I'm a radio personality. I'm a recording artist. I am a natural hairstylist. And I am happy to be here. Blessed. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was
Great. That was a yes. Let that be a notice for you. Like, yeah. No, definitely. Yes. It's giving learning.
Hey everybody, my name is Aisha Howard. I am a morning news anchor on 11 Alive News here in the A. You can catch me weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 a.m. We gotta keep this thing live and hype y'all because it's my bedtime. So I'm so glad to be here with y'all tonight. I clock out at 7:30 p.m. So we gotta keep this thing high energy. Glad to be with y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a lot of energy. You feel that? Yes, all right. My name is Dr. Ed Garnes. I'm the founder.
You said doctor.
Dr. Ed
Well,
Garnes. I'm Dr. Ed Garnes.
like Dr. Dre?
like went to school. Like yeah.
Like tap dance for the man from my degree.
Like dissertation doctor.
So, Dr. Ed Garnes. I'm actually from East Point. My dad has a day named after him in the city of East Point, so I'm home. So I'm the founder from Afros to Shell Toes, a community organization that's based on emotional healing and also making mental process and change development palatable for Black folks. I also
hold on, wait. What was this word? Did you say palatable?
Yes.
Okay.
So I make it cool. I make it cool to talk about mental health and emotional healing in Black communities. All right. So I also host an emerging podcast that's high on the charts for good pods called Reclamation Point, where we deal with Black men and mental health. Riding shotgun is my brother Motown Lee. I've been a journalist for 27 years, so y'all can add up my age, even though I look 12.
All right, there's our panel, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for them. All right. So I'm trying to decide which direction we're going to go with our questions. Okay, you know what? We're going to warm you guys up with this one. What are you most passionate about these days in your life outside of your work? And are you making time for those things? Again, what are you most passionate about these days in your life outside of work? And are you making time for those things in your life?
He passed me the mic like a hot potato, so I guess I'll just pick it up. I would say I'm most passionate about self-development and filling up myself. I became a mom. My daughter's going to be 2 next week, and it felt like that took everything out of me. Like one day I looked up and I was like, damn, I'm just going to work. Like, I used to be that deal. I used to be out here at events.
Outside.
I used to be outside. I used to be, in the streets, like, representing for the Black girls, like, on it. Body was tight, and then one day I woke up like, girl. Like,
I mean, you still outside, though.
No, but what I'm saying, like, this is new. Like, this is me, like, back focusing on myself and just getting back out there and being more than my job title. Being more than someone's mom. Like, I was that chick before all of that stuff. And so I'm very passionate about getting back to that unapologetically, though. Like, not saying, like, oh, well, that's kind of selfish. Like, no. Like, at the end of the day, it's me versus me. And so I think a lot of people get lost in the title and the grind. And you look up and you're like, well, what happened? Like, who am I at the core if you take all this stuff away? And I am making time for it, but that comes with a lot of sacrifice, being sleepy. It comes with, you know, kind of overexerting yourself sometimes, but you got to make it all fit. And it works. If you work it, it works.
Good answer. What I'm most passionate about right now outside of work is like family. I'm a mother myself. I'm a mother of 6 actually, and I don't say that often because I am in the entertainment field. So the older you get, it's like that. But to me, the older you get, it means that you have more to tell, more to share. Your testimony is that much stronger. You know, it's the reverse in my, you know, my psyche, because I feel like as the community, we follow the young people, which is cool because they're the future. But at the same time, it's the older people that you need to listen to and tap in with because they have the most experience. So to answer your question, outside of work,
I'm always a fan.
outside of work, I am so focused on my family right now, and I need to spend more time doing that. So.
All right.
Am I next?
If you want to.
Right. So outside of work, when am I not working? But when I'm not working, I'm more doing a lot more research on where we're from and where we elevated from. As Black people, I'm starting to do more research about that, starting to tap into that, starting to tap more into the Bible, God, religion in itself. I don't really believe in religion, but I'm very spiritual. I've been baptized and I took Shahada. So I took Shahada as a Muslim in 1993, but I've also been baptized in the year 2000. So just tapping back into that part of it, just being my spirituality. Meditating, just taking time out to really absorb what this is really all about and try to recycle that back into the youth is what I'm interested in doing right now. And I enjoy it, and that's outside the work, I guess.
Okay, well, you said Tahada, Jahada, what is that?
Shahada.
Yes, tell us, what is Shahada?
Shahada is when you bear witness to Allah and you have an iman that helps you through that process and you get named. Then you take you take walks in what they call Islam. So my Islamic name was Talib, and which means seeker of knowledge. And as a child, I've always been curious about religion and spirituality. Even when the Jehovah's Witnesses with the watchtowers came to my door, my mother said, "Get down, get down." I was like, I take one of those for 35 cents. And they said, "Do you want to know what heaven is?" And then they show you pictures of human beings with zebras, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! And you'd be like, "Yeah, I'll take one." But then once you do that, they come back every Saturday. But so that part. But I've been. She can attest to this because like lately I just be like normally I just sleep on the couch and I let the TV watch me. So but recently I get up in the middle of the night and then I just meditate now and I'm more conscious like in getting people's attention in radio. I took an average way of doing it by just being like a shock jock, but now I'm more conscious of what I'm saying.
All right.
So getting away from work, meditating, spirituality, going to church more.
Dr. Grimes?
I am invested in being Black on purpose.
Okay.
All right? And moving with purpose. You all don't understand the 7-year dehumanization process that I'm coming out of academia.
He said dehumanization.
I am Black as hell right now. I wake up to the Isley brothers.
Okay.
Okay, hello.
Okay.
So I'm just proud to be able to be Black again without penalty, man. And in doing that, uplifting other people along the way. Because oppression is real. You know, I think that sometimes we get in the industry and we think that we absolved from certain things. Right.
Even though ain't no new constitution or no new nothing.
But when you Black, right, there's an extra emotional tax, right? So helping people navigate that and continuing to free my damn self is what I'm into.
Yeah.
Whew, Lord Jesus. Okay? Look, I mean, we got the humanization. Look, okay, listen.
I'm a professor, as y'all can tell, so I go back and forth from a little ignorance to a little.
Nah, you don't do no ignorance. Yes, you ain't doing ignorance. You might do a little hood vernacular. Yeah, you're not doing ignorance at all there, Dr. Garnes. All right, so you guys answered this question in a lot of ways that was intriguing, but I'm going to answer the question just to give the people something else that they can, gravitate to. So what am I most passionate about these days outside of work? A couple of things that I'm most passionate about outside of work are my pursuit of balance, my pursuit of wholeness. I think especially as a black man, there's aspects of us that we were never taught to be engaged with. And that balance between our masculine and our feminine energy, our emotions, our feelings, our nurturing aspects, and those kinds of things. So that pursuit of balance, I'm passionate about basketball. I still play basketball. My nickname is Chum Curry. You can definitely look me up on giving niggas buckets. I play tennis. I smoke marijuana. And I insist on never going anywhere with a woman who's not going to dance with me. Okay, so those are some of my things that I do that I'm passionate about outside of work. And then being a bridge to our people for all the different things, from resources that they need to get up and go, resources that they need to be sustained, and all of those different kinds of things. And pursuing my smile. That's something I'm very passionate about also, making sure that it's happening with me, because that's the only way I can make it happen for anyone else. All right, so our next question. We're going to flip the movement a little bit for this one. And so the question is, how has cancel culture affected your work? And do you think that our culture has completely gone away from the freedom of speech and the freedom of individuality?
I think that was a rhetorical question. Hashtag yay, hashtag Kyrie Irving. Hashtag Charles Barkley, who sponsored this, right? But at the end of the day, we definitely need to reevaluate ourselves as a people, as a whole, and take back power that we just pretty much gave away, like signing big deals with Warner Brothers, Sony, and Universal. I hope they're not a sponsor. At the end of the day, collectively, with a lot of monies that we're making and that we're earning, we can take back the power that we're just giving away and take it back. Big shouts out to Big Mike for the Big Shot Radio, one of our platforms that we're on. A lot of it, the cancel culture has really been, it's really been because we gave away our power. When hip hop first started, it was about revolutionizing music, revolutionizing hip hop. And once we got the big record deals, it was about, how many people we could shoot, how many people we could kill, how much ass we could shake. And then we just got away from that. So now...
But don't stop shaking the asses. I understand.
Don't stop. Get it.
Moderation is the key, okay?
But at the end of the day, once we, the whole cancel culture comes from, soon as Ye comes out and he looks crazy to you, we got the memes going, and it seems like we got that whole crab in the barrel thing that, the brother needs help sometimes. If he got more support, as a fact, when Adidas let him go, they lost a lot of money, and they still want to use his name and his brand to get that money back. So the cancel culture is because we get real caught up in wanting to wear a Gucci belt and a lot of men do, and I said this on the way, I'm going to cut this real quick, a lot of men do everything for women. So I think if we can bring love back to us as a culture, men actually loving their women actually loving their men, and
them loving themselves, men loving themselves, women loving themselves.
Right. I loved myself this morning before I came here, and
look at Daniel face. He got it.
I'm almost up right there. Seconds.
So at the end of the day, if we can learn to, it's all about really.
Is that even loving yourself?
Right. I'm just saying, we got to keep Johnson & Johnson in business. So at the end of the day.
He said he's a shop job. Yeah, definitely.
at the end of the day, we got to learn to love each other and respect each other as a culture. And I think with that, all of that gets alleviated, and that would level the economical plane for us to actually negotiate with the powers that be right now and take some of the power back.
Okay. Am I getting yes? Yes, Ray. We're gonna answer. I'm gonna ask you. Please pass the mic to someone. All right. So back to the question, just for America and the panelists. Do you think that we are moving away from the freedom of speech and the freedom of individuality based on cancel culture? Let's move over here. I don't want, you might have been inspired by his answer. Let's start on this side. We're gonna take the mic. We're gonna come back this way here. We're gonna start on this side.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Well, Rick, that was so simple.
You could have just said that.
Yeah, exactly.
But here we are, to put a bow on.
Yes, 7 minutes later.
Right. To be continued.
Right. I mean, this, I'm waiting on Dougie Fresh on, but that was 6 minutes.
So,
where's Dougie Fresh?
So the answer is yes, and I think it makes you afraid to say what you want to say. If there's a louder voice or a bigger voice in the room or a more popular name that's saying it and you might feel a different way, then you may be less susceptible to give like your freedom of thought and your freedom of opinion. As it relates to media, our job is to be unbiased and to tell both sides of the story and not to lean in any sort of way. So my boyfriend was asking, like, are y'all covering the Kyrie? No, we're not. We stand far away as hell from Kyrie. Like, we're not talking about that in news, because how do you say that? You know, on a news station, you can't turn that on, and there's not enough time in the way that we even structure things. But then the black people might be looking like, well, why she ain't saying nothing? Why she ain't talking about that? She's scared, or they telling her what to say. That's just not how the platform works. And so in our world, it's a lot of misunderstanding as to what we can tap into and what we can't. But you do have other media that they are able to do it, but don't ever look to the local news to do it. It's not happening.
Okay, be clear.
Not happening. And it's not that your favorite black news anchor is a sellout. We subscribe to unbiased information.
So what you're saying is you're not a sellout. You just reporting the news as it's on the screen.
Man, I'm getting that check.
Say it again. Say it again.
Okay.
You're like, that's for my money.
Okay. Okay. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mouth to feed.
Right.
I would say cancel culture is alive and well, but it is only it's only as sustainable as our belief in cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about 2 comments from my dad. My dad's just real heavy on my mind. Number 1, truth is always on time, and secondly, you can't legislate crazy. Cancel culture only works if you seek validation from your oppressor.
Facts.
All right. So if you're seeking validation, you can be canceled. So I'm always canceled, right? Because I'm a truth teller, and I've taken that since I was a young activist here in Atlanta. That being a truth teller, you will attempt to get canceled.
Facts.
But my goal on this earth is to liberate other black people to tell their truth. So I could give a damn about the validation of my oppressor. So cancel culture doesn't affect me.
Okay. All righty. Okay. We're gonna. You know what? Just Ray threw me off on this side. Look, on the subject of cancel culture, I'm about to cancel this whole left side over here. Lord Jesus. Look, the signage, all of it.
They kind of summed up what I was saying.
Okay.
I think that people are too sensitive right now.
Okay.
I think that everybody is so sensitive, and I feel that we should be allowed to have our own opinions and speak from our heart. You know what I mean? If you get canceled, if you don't like what I said, then so be it. I mean, I didn't need you probably in the first place. Yeah. So I do think that cancel culture is real. I just think that people are super sensitive, and now that we have social media, everybody is harping on everybody's single word. Yeah. So I don't think that cancel culture is necessary. I think we should all have the freedom to say what we want to say.
Okay, that's an interesting one. So for me, I think that there is an aspect to cancel culture that comes out because it's what people you can say whatever you want to say, but that doesn't absolve you from the consequences. Right. And so I think that's the aspect that is becoming a bit more prevalent is the consequences of those words and those actions. And it's like, you just can't say any and everything anymore unless your statements are founded and rooted in some type of facts and some type of information. And so one of the things that I think cancel culture is doing is on one aspect is checking, you know what I'm saying? It's checking the sources and the facts. And I think we've lost that in media, you know what I'm saying? Like through blogs and podcasts and those kinds of things. It's like, you know, when I watch Aisha on TV, you know, and it was the houndstooth with the colors on it for me that day, for the record. Yeah, so I know that what she's talking about, they've done research on it and all of those things. But some of the stuff that trends through culture is just literally just something that somebody literally could have construed in their head to do clickbait. And so I do think that cancel culture is it's problematic in a certain way, but then I think there's an aspect of accountability that is coming from it. But the reality to me is it's God and then me. So how can anybody cancel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I don't believe it, because all they got to do is come out with a hit record or a hit movie and they back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're right back. All right, so we're going to shift gears. What are some of the black companies and black media and black content companies that are making some of the larger technological advancements, in your opinion?
For me, I would say, and I'm only going to put on for her because it's very hard to get me to tune into something on a regular basis.
Okay.
And I would say the 4 black women that are working with B. Simone right now, the fact that these 4 black women are putting on this podcast and it is crystal clear, it is hot. I'm really big on, don't give me no fuzzy video.
Okay.
Get you some good equipment.
Yes, please. Like, this shout out to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Jerome,
and I love the fact that it's 4 young black women. It's the Know For Sure podcast. And at first, I was seeing all the guys with, like, you know, because guys are usually bigger into technology. Their sets were dope. They were, you know, getting all these brand deals and sponsorships. And then I was really proud to see that they had a team, not only her and her best friend who were the hosts, but 2 other young black women behind the scenes working the cameras. They fly into different cities, setting it up, just renting an Airbnb and turning it into like this great space. So I love to see the women tapping into high quality, high level podcasting. Now, mind you, there's a brand, you know, she's a brand and she's a big name on social media, but if you go back to the beginning, they start from where we all started from. So it's not something that's out of reach and that's impossible. I love to go back and scroll and be like, man, you go back to 2018.
Y'all was still with the vibes.
Y'all was still, you know, just around Atlanta trying to make some, you know, little funny videos. And I just love to see that the grind continued and to see the elevation and the quality go up. Like, we can put on good products without these big sound stages and things
exactly
behind us. So I love that for them.
I would say my podcast, Reclamation Point Podcast.
Yes, no shame, plug.
Reclamation Point Podcast on all streaming services and YouTube. What me and my brother Motown Lee, who is known for One Music Fest, managing every artist and every project.
And he was Tupac's DJ.
Yeah, Tupac's DJ, 8Ball, MJG. Worked on Janet's projects, A&R. Motown is doing everything. So what we're doing about creating a space for black men to be emotionally vulnerable, but also for sisters to get their love, because we were tired of these toxic, masculine podcasts telling y'all stuff, and I can tell you as a professional, as a black man, we don't think like that.
Facts.
So,
and we're not really here for the BBLs either.
Yeah, Reclamation Point Podcast, Black Men Mental Health. And then I got to shout out 2 more brothers who have a podcast called Q Points that's all about black music. DJ Sir Daniel and J Ray. Q Points Podcast is another one that I'm proud of. Just to see brothers taking up space and taking up space in ways that free other brothers. So,
okay. Ray?
Scared.
Yeah, you can give it to him.
I'll go first. I would like to big up Ray Daniels and a Radio Connect because it's a radio platform that offers opportunities to people who might want to break into radio, who've never been in radio. We also have a visual aspect. We have clear cameras, and it's something that we get up and do every day. It's not like a fly-by-night type thing. It's real radio. We do it every day on schedule. So I just think that it's a great platform. I think it's a great opportunity. He gave me an opportunity, and he's giving a lot of people in Atlanta opportunities. They might not admit it, but he has, and I just think it's dope. So keep going.
All right, well, perfect, Ray. Since you mentioned you need that talk.
Why you bit me?
All right.
I'm just gonna keep it real. Like at the end of the day, I'm just gonna say revolt. I think Diddy's doing incredible things with that, bringing revolt here to the community, letting people be a part of the situation, putting on panels so people can learn about the music industry, always having creative programming, and giving people opportunity in LA to step up and come and create their own programming. So I'm gonna give it up to Diddy. I know a lot of people don't want to, in his new position with the Love label and all that. So as we mature, we realize when we did things as younger that we made mistakes. So yeah, I'm gonna say Diddy, Herb Gotti made a change for the better with his new product and branding. So Herb and Diddy.
Okay, Ray. Okay, and so I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Fanbase. Fanbase is a open format social media platform owned by Isaac Hayes III. It's an opportunity for you to monetize your likes and your likeness. One of the things that took them into an ascension was during the Super Bowl. For whatever reason, Instagram wasn't letting Snoop Dogg go live during the Super Bowl. And remember, he performed at the Super Bowl, and they weren't letting him go live that whole day. And so he just moved his entire energy over to Fanbase. But Fanbase is a Black-owned, Atlanta-raised company. So if you're not on Fanbase, that's an app you guys should download. It interfaces a lot like Instagram, but it's got some of the features from Instagram and some of the features from Clubhouse and a few other things where you can kind of create groups and literally kind of do that as well. And I also like what's happening with Butter ATL. So if you guys aren't familiar with Butter ATL is another really cool source and is really moving the needle forward on a technological space. And then actually coming up on January 1st, there will be a launching of the first Black-owned food network, Food and Lifestyle TV. Food and Lifestyle TV is in the building right now. Shout out to Devo in the building. So yes, so that's going to be launching on streaming services. So just imagine you're going to be able to see the cooking shows, the competitions, the lifestyle aspects, and all that stuff's going to be available starting on January 1 on your Roku and some of those other aspects for streaming. So Food and Lifestyle, I would say, Fanbase, I would say, and Butter ATL are three, I would say, there. All right, so we're going to shift again. You know, we move.
Hey, you forgot Go Say Hello app.
No, I didn't forget anything. You forgot. Actually. Yeah.
If I don't know if y'all familiar with it, but it's a Black-owned app, and it's like a walking business card. So you know how you like we all in here now, and I might not want to just approach you, but the app will allow you to put in like what you do, and then it lets people know that you're in the room. So it's like a walking business card. So when I pull up, I'll know that Daniel Dickey is in here, and he's the Renaissance man. So I'll just go up to Mr. Daniel Dickey and start a conversation. So Go Say Hello app. I wanted to just speak to them.
Okay, so it's for the record. You forgot. Okay,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
in case they see this.
Right, exactly. All right, so being Black, we can typically talk about the challenges that we face. But my personal mantra is something I call the Kim principle. It's my wholehearted belief that if you are able to keep it moving forward positively and productively, no matter what comes your way in life, good things will always be on their way to you, because at the end of the day, we really do reap what we sow. Karma is really a thing. And at the end of the day, we can control our karma based on what we do, or what we say, or what our actions do, what we bring to the earth. And so if you're someone who plants good seeds, often you should expect a good harvest at a certain point as well. And so with that being said, in what ways has being Black benefited you in your career?
I'll go first. First of all, I have an issue with the word Black. I'm melanated. I don't resonate with Black.
All right, so
but I can still answer.
Oh, you sure? Oh, okay.
I would consider myself
It's left side, Lord Jesus.
not Black, but one way of being melanated has helped me. It has allowed me to be more creative. It has allowed me to jump higher, run faster, think harder. Allows me to, relish in my DNA and in my melanin. And I think that the biggest way that being melanated has allowed me to supersede and really know who I am and not allow myself to be bogged down with what society tells me I'm not, because everything I'm not, maybe everything I am.
Hey, come fast on this beat, so I made it to a jam. Everything I'm not, everything I am. Hey. So Ray, I mean, she did a good job. So I mean, if you like to, I mean.
But I don't know how I could benefit being white because I've been black all my life.
Well, no, the question wasn't about nothing. Here was about being white.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, because we're all.
It's been a lot of melanated. I benefited from being black in a lot of ways because our counterparts, the whites, when I was in college doing my thing, and I had like maybe 7 jobs during college, so they felt that I was able, I was more, educated than my counterparts or whatever. I could communicate things better. So it put me in position to actually help people get jobs because I was able to communicate with them on their level and communicate with my people on their level and let them know, hey, there's a bag here, and this is how we got to get the bag. So I went into a position with MCI WorldCom, if anybody remembers that, as a customer service rep, and then I elevated myself to a trainer, then a supervisor, and I eventually became ops manager. So everybody that came through the door it was Utica, New York, if anybody's familiar with Utica, New York, they purposely target that place because they knew people was on welfare, low income, and they would work for the wages that they was offering. So I was able to go in there and motivate these people to lock down these jobs because with customer service reps position is a high turnover rate. So I educated them. What they educated me, I flipped it back to them and tell them how to maintain their workplace, how to get the bag, how they could become trainers and supervisors and ops. So that me being black and being who I was able, and they selected me to be in that position. I was able to go back and translate to my people how they can get the bag. So I think I benefited from being black in that way.
Yes, Ray, let's go, Ray. Look, it's the resurgence,
People
Ray.
go, let my people go.
Yes, he's back, baby.
How has being black helped me in my career?
Yes,
absolutely.
Or
Traditionally,
melanated, I mean, because folks don't really do the word black.
If you don't live in Atlanta,
Okay.
any other parts of the country,
Any of them.
it's always one. It's always one black woman on TV, on the anchor desk, right?
Right.
Except for Atlanta.
She be fine though, or old.
Yeah, or she be real good, and she be fine. All the way into her 60s, she be fine.
Fine, Thomas.
And so for me, that's been a benefit.
Right.
We need a dope black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing for me is when you show up, that's going to be a lot of people's first experience with a highly educated, dope black woman. Don't fumble that experience. Right. Not that we care so much about what y'all think or how y'all perceive us, but I'm going to give you the total opposite of everything you ever thought a black woman was. And I'm going to kill it and I'm going to blow you away and leave you thinking like, wow, damn, how does she do that? Every single day, I get the question, how is your makeup done so fast? Like, you got up here in 10 minutes. It's noir pixie dust. Like, it's magic. Like, you would never understand how I'm so fast on my feet. Why is your whole wardrobe for winter different? We in the A. I'm black.
Fuck you thought. Okay.
I'm black. I'm up there like thinking about y'all. Like, my hair not gonna be jacked up. I'm representing all of y'all.
Okay.
Like, regardless of what y'all looking like or feeling like when you wake up in the morning, when you turn it on, like, sis, you holding it down. It ain't my day today, but sis, you got it.
It's your day.
You holding us down. And so it's been a benefit for me to be able to show up in that way for all of us and to put on and not to be competitive with somebody who looks like me.
Right.
It's benefited me in a way to say, look, these black girls about to come in here and kill it.
Right.
And it ain't nothing we can do to suppress it, to squash it, or none of that. And Atlanta has been the most welcoming place for us to be that. And I'm just so grateful for that opportunity. I came from Indianapolis.
The nap.
Nap time.
Yeah. And that was like, oh, this black girl got on some lashes. Right. She got some hips. She got a butt. Like, this is crazy. And so it keeps evolving. And so now that I'm gone, it's 3 of them. And so that benefits us by when you show up in the space, be good and make way for sis to come behind you. Or bro.
Yes.
Or bro.
Yes, please, bro us too.
Being black, I know I'm a winner, man. Like, you know, my ancestors show up and show out for me. I don't know about y'all.
Facts.
So I know that my ancestors want the best for me, so I claim everything that is for me.
Okay.
I take everything that I need out of this world. So being black has a lot of strengths, man. So I think about number 1, just being resilient as hell. You throw anything at black folks, we gonna overcome. Right?
Okay.
I'm also connected to a large diaspora of folks that want the best for me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I think about the ability to improvise, right? If this mic turned off, or if it went black, we'll still find a candle and the way to get through things.
Okay.
Because improvisation is important. So I see black as a strength and not a weakness. So I know that my blackness can afford me healing and to get through anything that I encounter.
That's right.
Ooh, baby. Let's go. Put your hands together for these answers to the question. Even raise down. Excuse me, Kings, you 3, if you guys can come up, I have 3 chairs up here for you guys.
First row.
Yes, first row, legends only. Welcome to the Black Media Mixer.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel to be late and sit in front?
Yes, perfect. Let's get it. All right, so thank you, Dr. Garnes, for that segue. Actually, I want to follow up with you because you were a professor at what school?
Well, I'm a professor at no school right now.
But yeah, so you were a professor.
Oh
at
yeah,
what school?
so I was at Spelman for 5 years, and I was at a school that would be unnamed right now.
Oh, unnamed school.
If you work in higher ed, you'll know why I said unnamed. But yeah, I worked for Spelman for 5, and I taught at various other institutions like Clark AU. I mentioned the black students, Spelman, Clark AU. All right.
Oh goodness, I wanted you to talk about the school you're not trying to talk about, but okay. All right,
What did you want me to say about this school?
Well, I think being black in an environment like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, was something I would be curious to hear more about.
Okay, what you want to know? I'll let it flow for you.
What was that experience like? And feel free to talk, to it from a.
I mean, being at the University of Tennessee was pure hell, you know what I'm saying? Because I was basically academically lynched. I had my research stolen. I was told that I couldn't speak. Like, I mean, anything that you can think of, from police incidents to just these toxic notions of black folks. Like, my first day being handed a trash can when I'm on campus looking for my office, or, being followed around the bookstore. You know what I'm saying? The classic one was first day of class. And how is it leaving the ghetto and actually, being on a college campus and actually experiencing education for the first time? I said, well, I kind of grew up middle class.
Right. Yeah.
Both of my parents have master's degrees.
Right.
My dad has a day named after him in East Point. I'm not sure what you mean.
Right.
And then just dealing with the fact that the biggest thing that excites white people is your ability to defy stereotypes and not need their validation.
Oh, geez.
Run that back one more time. Oh yeah, stand up.
When I walk in the room, like, that power, that blackness, that shit that I bring is intimidating to mediocre white folks.
Right.
So everything that I went through,
standard issue white folks.
Yeah, everything I went through, I'm really against academia right now. So,
okay.
I resigned from teaching, and I'm trying to figure out if I even want to continue academia. And don't think that the HBCUs is sweet, because they have a lot of white supremacist notions. Yeah. Because you would think, I think y'all know I can complete sentences.
It might give people a word they might have to look up.
Sound like I know how to teach, but HBCUs are just as white supremacist as other ones. So we got to remix the whole educational process. But yes, University of Tennessee, hell. It's so bad, y'all, that I'm actually throwing up and having to go through like this healing process just to attend my graduation. Like, it was that painful what I went through.
So that's a good segue into my next question. How do you maintain your mental health in a realm full of bleed leads, despair, and the sprinkles of goodness? And I repeat that. How do you maintain your mental health? And what tips would you give to others about maintaining your mental health in a realm full of bleed leads, despair, and the sprinkles of goodness? Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, Aisha was about to talk. I mean, Ray, I don't know if you earned the right to go first now. I mean, yeah, we'll get you second.
I think if you just set the stage with being a black journalist in May of 2020.
Ooh. Okay.
Like, what? Like, I'm supposed to watch Derek Chauvin's knee on George Floyd's neck and just sit there and tell the story. Yeah, no, I'm crying on TV. Like, nah, this is what it is. My black reporter in the field getting maced downtown outside the CNN building, and she stumbles upon, didn't even know that it was there, she stumbles upon this little project that somebody had just put up with all the crosses of the black people that had been killed at the hands of police, and she's on live TV. And her last day was the other day. I'm surprised she made it that long. A lot of us are surprised that we were able to make it through May of 2020 as a black journalist in America, especially if you were in a big city that had protests. And so for me, that was my first time saying, like, feel the feels. Like, you feel like the rest of the black people at home watching the TV right now. Like, you can't sit up here and, you know, just be buttoned up. Also, I was pregnant, but it was a genuine feeling like, nah, this is what we are experiencing at this moment. We're not gonna we're not gonna do this journalist voice like, yo, we hurting, this is wild. Like, this looked like Detroit in the 60s. Like, what are we witnessing right now? Like, what's good, what's going on? Like, all that training, all that academia, all that stuff came off. And I think that's when people were able to see us as people. So for me, that was therapy. Mm-hmm. Like, not being afraid to just kind of be who I was and to be myself. And on social media too. And it wasn't like, you know, what are they gonna think, or is somebody gonna, like, you know, call me in about my social media posts? You still gotta keep it respectful when you can't just go out there. I can't do a rant like any other person would, probably do a rant, but I felt proud of myself for experiencing that moment with my people. Yeah. Like, I was one of y'all. I didn't be like, I'm the lady on TV in this moment. Like, no, I really wasn't. And so for me, that was highly therapeutic, on top of the therapist that I paid $130 per session.
Okay, so being open on the air and a therapist, that's how you maintain your mental health currently also?
Yeah, currently as well. Okay. So that moment kind of freed me not to revert.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been East from Flint.
Okay, East from Flint?
Since May of 2020.
Okay,
like, yeah, you couldn't go back from that.
Okay, all right. Ray, you were authorized to go second. The people voted.
Let me make sure I understand the question again. Repeat the question one more time.
How do you maintain your mental health in a realm full of bleed leads, despair, and sprinkles of goodness? And any tips that you maybe would want to give people?
Okay, I'm not afraid to admit to this, what I'm about to say. The way I maintain my mental health is I have a conversation with myself out loud.
Yeah.
I talk to myself in the mirror, look at myself in the mirror. I have a full conversation with myself. Hey, wait, do you really want to do that today? And again, I don't know. I'm gonna do that. And then I rant. That's the liberty of having your own radio platform. Is I don't feel that
be clear, the boss or whatever. Yeah. Who can check me?
Having your own radio platform and being repressed for being on FM for so long, and you have this internet platform where you're not really regulated by FCC. So if something's on my mind, and she could probably attest to this, if something's on my mind overnight and I felt like it was repressed, the way I do therapy for myself is I let the world know what the hell is on my mind, and then I receive back what I put out there. Whatever energy I put out there, I'm ready to take it, whether it's good or bad, and I deal with it myself. And then she helps me with my mental health a lot, because I know even though she doesn't want to hear what the hell I got to say, I'm going to say it anyway. But she's real good.
And that's helpful.
Right, it's helpful because it's helpful because she learned me, and she learned, okay, here you go, it's all right. I'm going to say what do you want to say. Say, hey baby, it's time to go to sleep. You ain't going to sleep? And then I get up and I do the same thing again. But that's how I deal with my, what? For the record, we go together.
I don't think I know. I just got it.
Yeah, for the record, we go together. That's why. So that's how I deal. And ever since I was a little boy, I had my own imaginary 8 friends in my head, and that's how I deal with my mental health, by just being mental, you know.
Okay, got it. So no tips in there, you guys. Yeah, definitely.
My tip would be maybe you want to talk to yourself sometime, and maybe talk to God, and hopefully He's listening, and you get through your day that way, just being spiritual and trusting yourself and trusting your little voice. Well, because how many times your little voice told you don't make this right turn, and you did, and it turned into something really disastrous, like a car accident, or you just ran into some trouble, or you went somewhere where you wasn't supposed to go because your little voice told you don't do it, and you did it anyway. My advice will be don't go against that little voice, because that's probably, you know, God talking to you anyway.
Or your insecurities, so be very careful. But keep next.
So for the record, I don't think I sound like that. That's the voice he always do with me. But yeah, real talk, like the question, what's a bleed, first of all?
Bleed.
Yeah.
What is that?
Like when you turn on the news and the first thing you see is somebody who got murdered.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Every day.
So what I do is, y'all, I unplug, right? I only give things so much energy, right? And then I ask God, like, is this that serious? You know, and I ask God for the strength to accept the things I cannot change the things I can, and the things that I can't. I can't really give it that much energy. I think that more energy that we pour into situations, the more people can jerk you, right? The more they know you care, the more they gonna jerk you. So I just don't give a F at a certain point about nothing.
Well, you're on black-owned land in a black-owned place.
You know what I'm saying?
You're talking.
I'm just saying, at a certain point,
It's just us.
I stop caring, right? And then once I don't care no more, you don't have no power over me. So it's easy for me to detach and walk away. So my advice and how I deal with things is, I'm a runner, I'm a track star.
Hey.
I get up out of there on you. You're not gonna kill me with it. You know what I'm saying? I'll just let it go. And I think at some point we have to learn to just let things go and let God handle it. Because the sooner you let it go, you be looking for that result. And when you trying to do it, it's not happening fast enough. But the moment you be like, you know what, man, and you turn around and they got karma. So I say just unplug and try not to worry yourself to death.
Oh, hold on now.
The missing art of reading. People get some books, read a little bit more. Grab the Bible, read Psalms 91, Psalms 35. Just read some more. Nobody reads no more.
Agreed. Dr. Garnes?
I mean, I would say I daily ask the ancestors for wisdom and discernment, right? And so one of the things that I try to do with my healing is any white supremacist notions that are in my way, I try to get rid of them, right? And so when I look at healing for myself, you know, healing, you know, we think it's this big thing. Healing can be having a do nothing day. Healing can be a jazz wind down to some Coltrane. Healing can be me making some sweet tea. So I'm all about practices that facilitate, you know, not only healing but personal growth, and staying in therapy is one of them. But one of the things that I think that we have to be cognizant as Black people is to surround yourself with wise counsel. Mm-hmm. Get rid of jealous ass people in your way. A lot of the things that stop us as Black people is our own jealousy and our own white supremacist notions of what success looks like. Get those motherfuckers out your way, right? That's the first thing. And so healing for Black people has to be a daily practice, just like we get up for a job, just like we pay these bills. Put mental health deposits into your mental health bank account on a daily basis. If you do that, when life comes for your ass, you will still have your sanity. You will be in the black. And so look at mental health as proactive versus reactive. Don't wait till you're depleted. Fill yourself up daily so when stuff comes, you can say, you know what? All right, I'm going to move on. So that's what I can do.
I like all the bank references.
Hey.
But also, if you go to a therapist as a Black person, I encourage you to go to an African-centered therapist that uses Black psychology and other principles that are unique to us. Because sometimes Black folks can go to therapy and we're harmed even more.
Yeah. So actually, can you expound a bit more on that? Because I've never heard anyone talk about therapy from a African-centered therapist
All right.
perspective. Yeah, break that down, Doc.
So basically, it's taking a strengths-based approach. So, right, as a therapist, I've had clients that have gone to white therapists and been given yoga, breathing exercises, and some white women's healing book to deal with oppression, racism, and different things, right? That's not going to help us, right? So one of the things that we struggle with as black people, most of our issues as black people is related to not having psychological balance, and something in our identity is incongruent, right? So a black therapist has to take a strength-based approach to understand what essential strengths and gifts do you have that even in situations that are difficult, that you think you don't have the resources, what strengths do you already have that can be applied to new situations? So if you're dealing with someone that has depression and anxiety, so I give our sister that works in media, let's just say you have a media personality, black woman, right, dealing with a lot of things, right? So some of that is just dealing with the daily pressures of being the face for black women. That is a stress. White therapists are not concerned about that.
Right.
Because they're reading from a textbook to say, oh, you have depression, anxiety, and take these 2 pills, you know. So from an African-centered perspective, you're looking at strengths. Like I mentioned some of those strengths: improvisation, resilience, spirituality, connectedness to others, having a gallows sense of humor, being laughing to keep from crying. So I'm going to tap into those essential strengths that she has.
Hold on, time out. He said a gallows sense.
Yeah. Laughing to keep from crying.
Okay, got it.
And so I'm going to tap into what makes this sister tick and give her a blueprint for healing that is specific to her. Okay. And I'm going to remind her of other sisters like Ida B. Wells, other people that are in journalism, and tell her to tap into those stories, because everyone has a story of resilience. And if you tap into that, that's how you develop coping strategies. And how you develop coping strategies is to develop strengths to deal with new things in new ways.
Let's go.
White therapists don't talk like that.
Yes, definitely. Look, feel free to, you should send him a cash app. It's at $ Mr. Daniel Dickey. Okay, definitely for all of that.
It sounds like if he had a blunt, he would do it.
Yeah.
No, I don't smoke sweet tea. It's my religion.
So a couple of things that I do to maintain my mental health. And so for me, because I am a leader of leaders, and that puts me in a space and an influencer of influencers, and I just became last month a teacher of teachers. Right. And so being a person that people are always kind of seeking after for some type of platform or some type of knowledge or some type of advisement and those kinds of things, it's really important for me to definitely have those moments where I unplug. So unplugging is a key ingredient. Like my phone, even now, my phone doesn't make a lot of noises. A lot of people have a chime for this and a ding for that. And no, listen, when I look at my phone, I'll see what the hell is going on my phone at that moment. I don't need it telling me to come look at me and all that kind of stuff like that. So that's something that I definitely do. I definitely do smoke marijuana. I'm very much about that life. I am someone who believes in going out in nature. I go out in the rain. I go out in the sun. It doesn't matter for me, because the only people that are afraid of the rain are people who don't have good seed in the ground. Okay, always remember that. And so there's that. And then another thing that I do is I say what I need to say to the person I need to say it to. And that is a liberating space to be in your time and space on this earth. So I don't leave a lot of moments with regrets. People be like, well, I can't believe bro said that. Yeah, I can't believe it because I felt it and I meant it. And I mean every single word that I ever say. Just for the record, if we ever talk, I meant it. Whatever it was, take it to bed with, yes, he meant what the fuck he said. Yeah, and so I mean it, and it gives me less regrets, and it puts me more present in every moment of my life. And that is another key to mental health, is to be present. A lot of times we go to a place and our phone is taking us to all these other places. Right. Okay, our mind is taking us to all these other places. But to be present with yourself is to be present with God. And to be present with God is going to be in a place of peace, and a place of love, and a place of manifestation. So those are some things that I do. And then I dance. Okay? Listen, with people's daughters, more times than not. But I'm here for that. And I want to talk to you guys about the health benefits of dance really quickly, because I don't think that people realize that this is a superpower, okay? Just a couple of the benefits of dance, okay? Dance boosts memory. It allows you to remember more. It improves your flexibility. It reduces stress. It diminishes depression. It helps your heart. It helps you lose weight. It helps you have more balance just in your steps, and you won't be as goofy and clumsy. And it increases your energy, and it also allows you to make friends. You've never seen people fighting, you know what I'm saying, while they were dancing with each other. You know what I'm saying? Even when you saw dance fights, it was like, oh God, they're just dancing. You know what I'm saying? So those are a couple of the things that I do, and those are some things that you guys can also do. So just to recap, say what you gotta say to the person you need to say it to. I think it's very unproductive when we have displaced anger. Like, I'm mad at Aisha and I'm fussing at Shy about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and so I don't harbor any unforgiveness. And harboring unforgiveness is something that is very much detrimental to what we have going on as a people. You know, we don't forgive our mom, we don't forgive our dad, we don't forgive that person from 30 years ago. And I learned this in college, but to harbor unforgiveness is like drinking a poison and hoping someone else dies. Okay, and so that's definitely going to be a major key too. And so yeah, so those are some things I do for my mental health. Okay, all right. So our next question. Yes, and we're getting into it now. My next question is. Why do you think it's so difficult for us to have real and honest conversations with each other as a collective and as individuals? And I'm going to repeat that. Why do you think it's so difficult for us to have authentic, real, honest conversations with each other as a collective?
Everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants to make other people feel good, and you're afraid of disappointing other people or stepping on someone's toes. It's just like, you know, if you take your most interpersonal relationship, like you're afraid to tell your partner, like, hey, I actually don't like that. And so you just move about your daily life and somebody is like doing something or saying something that you hate, and you just learn to deal with it. Like, how uncomfortable and icky does that feel? And it's just like a breath of fresh air when you finally get the confidence to just say, I don't like that. I hate when you say that, or please don't do that to me, or don't speak to me in that way. And it's so liberating, but that comes with a lot of times where people requires therapy to get to know yourself, to be able to even express your likes and your dislikes with confidence and without walking back on it, without kind of delivering that in a way that's just like, oh, well, you know, I really didn't mean to say that. And also, in a way on social media, I think that's really made everybody, like Shashai said earlier, just super, super sensitive. And so we're just all kind of like living this fake life and just kind of tap dancing around everything and making everything look as glamorous as possible. And it's just a whole bunch of broken people who won't get to the root of the brokenness. And so it's all smoke and mirrors. And everybody is just so comfortable with that because you don't want to get into that uncomfortable space. So you talked earlier about, you know, a lot of podcasts with, you know, black men speaking down on black women.
And the vice versa.
And the vice versa. Tone is everything, but everybody not lying though. Some of them speaking big facts.
Biggest facts.
Like big facts. Like sis, we can't be mad if somebody tells us to go to the gym. Like, you know, and it's those little conversations right there that get everybody like real tense. Hey, sis, I got somebody different to do your wig.
Okay.
Like, I want you to be popping. I am the one person, and I hate being the nominee. Gosh, I hate being a part of the delegation.
Oh, hey, Aisha, can you talk to her?
Damn, I'm excited.
Can you tell her, Aisha?
But imagine how much better it would be if we had more people willing to have those uncomfortable conversations with us and to know that it's coming from a good place. Like, I want you to win. I'm not an op. Like, you're not my competition. If you're in this space, I want you to thrive and succeed, but it's going to cause us to have some tough conversations. My first news agent, hey, you said you want to go where? LA looks, yeah, they don't come in that size in LA. They don't though. Like, real shit, they don't come in thick black girl in LA. That just isn't what it looks like. Now, you can break the mold, but it's one. E! News had one, and her show just got canceled, right? And that's how it works, and that's the harsh reality of it. But it's like, if you want to enter this space, especially with people in media, journalism, podcasting, all that stuff, this is some real stuff out here, and you can't be sensitive, and you have to be receptive to critique. None of us are above critique. I'm still, I'm at I am at the biggest job, the highest paying job in my career, and I'm still like, ooh, not a good day. Baby girl, that just wasn't a good day. Like, you gotta tighten up. Don't ever get too comfortable, and don't ever reach that place where can't nobody tell you nothing. Because you stop growing, and you just, I can't still be the same girl from Michigan State from 2007. I gotta keep elevating, but I can't do that if I don't take the feedback and the criticism. And some of it has been brutal, but that's been the best.
And so with that, just with criticism, I think you just always have to make sure that the person is qualified to give you constructive criticism. Like, that's the key. If you've never built a skyscraper, your criticism of me building a skyscraper is, fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, my guy, you build sheds. Like, what do you even know about skyscrapers? So qualify the criticism. I think that's a key.
But I think it's also having a posture to receive it on the other end, though. Like, if there are some people I would never tell, I'm gonna let you look like that, because I know you think you think you're a little too tight, and you don't want nobody to tell you nothing. And I'm not gonna be that person to step on your toes, because everything that I do isn't perfect. It's a cycle. I go to lunch with Monica Coffin once a month. I need the queen to keep me in line. I'm new school coming up. What do? How do I navigate this? What did you do? You did it well. Teach me. She's qualified. But if she ever saw me on TV and she didn't ever know me, now that she knows, this young sister wants some help.
Okay.
I'm gonna reach out. But a lot of them don't want the help. So don't be that person that can't nobody say nothing to you.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, the question is, why can't we have real conversations?
Yes.
I think we can't have real conversations because a lot of people is fake. I think they fake, and I don't think they coming from a real place when they talking to you. So you want to be careful who you do ask for advice, because not everybody is coming from that heartfelt place when they give you advice. A lot of people want to set you up. A lot of people want to sabotage you. And a lot of people don't want to see you win, even though they right there with you. It's unfortunate that it's like that, but you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you also have to be a snake handler. And what I mean by that is you can't run from it. You can't hide from it. It's all around you and it's real. So you have to learn how to deal with certain people that may or may not be on your side 100%, and know how to still get the best out of those people and leave the worst part, because everybody is not all good. I'm not all good. He not. You know what I'm saying? We all have our bad parts, but I would just like to say that just when you talk to people, try to come from the heart. Don't come from a place of jealousy, because we all gonna have our time, right? And just because you're great, it doesn't take anything from me to watch you shine. I love to see people grow. I love to see people do things. I build people up. That's what I do. So just try to surround yourself around real people. A lot of people is fake, and they don't want to take that mask off and let you see who they really are. And one more thing, social media is so fake. You will look at social media and think people is just so happy. They got so much money. And in reality, they miserable. They broke, and you'll be mad at them, hating on them for no reason. For no reason. You'll be mad at them and hating on them for absolutely no reason. So I think it's a lot of fake news, a lot of fake people. So that's why it's hard. People ain't real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you can give it, you got to be willing to take it. That's the first thing. You got to be in a position to give it. That's number one. Number two, I'm rubber. I'm very transparent, so I'm receptive to any kind of constructive criticism, because I actually want to hear it. If I need to go to the gym, tell me I got to go to the gym. My breath is hot. Let me know my breath is hot. At the end of the day, I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm built different. We grow up just different like that. So we do the dozens on the block. It starts at an early age, so you develop a tough skin. And so you you get to know who your prey is, and you get to know, like if you're in the power, if you're in position of power, you just got to be very delicate with that, because it can damage you very a lot, because somebody can take it to another level. I always like to have a third party in the room when I'm always giving constructive criticism, or if I'm giving them an evaluation of anything.
Yeah.
I always like to have a third party in the room, because now it's their word against your word, and if you're a person in power, you can be taken down very fast, especially with social media.
Shout out to the real Randy O.
Right, with people with happy thumbs. You got thumb gangsters out there, people who are just praying to hate on you, to bring you down for whatever reason. I know I'm going long, but you have to be self-reflective first. First, have criticism of yourself, what you lack and what you need to develop and make strong about yourself, before you first and foremost give any constructive criticism to anybody else. That's my word.
Okay, so this left side, shout out to y'all, but I don't know if you guys answered my question. Oh, you plan to answer the question? Oh, okay, all right. So do I need to repeat, or you got it?
Give me one more time. We're in school. One more time.
Okay, got it. So why do you think that it's so hard for us as a people to have difficult, authentic, real conversations with each other?
First, we don't listen. We listen
to the question. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my sentiment, exactly.
We don't listen, but we listen to win and not listen to learn. So we see conversation of the black community as an adversarial relationship where somebody has to come out the winner. We learned that from white folks. White folks always got to win something. Right? So first of all, you can't take an adversarial position in the conversation.
Adversarial, okay, for the record.
We set the whole thing up wrong. Okay. And then also, the reason why we struggle as black people is that we have suffered so many traumas and don't know ourselves well enough that in order to communicate properly, you have to come from a place of healing. Right? So if you are not healed and you are broken, trying to have a conversation with another broken person.
Facts. Y'all just broke.
So this is how you know that we're broken as a community.
Humpty Dumpty.
The shit that we arguing over ain't gonna move
nothing. That's why
on social media talking about, oh, that's my man, and that's my shoes, and my car is this. All the things that we argue about are so Western world, so white supremacist, so outside of the orbit of our African selves that's why we have problems. Because our whole communication style is based on another culture. So if we understand that feedback is love, if someone is giving you feedback, they love the hell out of you, right? And so I listen. Right, so I was trained by Dr. Joe White, who's considered the godfather of black psychology, who started the discipline. I sat at his feet. The West brothers, Clifton West and Cornell West, are mentors of mine. And it's something that they tell me.
Okay, mentors lit.
They tell me all the time that there is no love without correction. We have to understand that when someone is critiquing you, that's a form of love. So when someone gives me,
especially if they're qualified,
when somebody gives me feedback and critique, I know they love the hell out of me. But it's not a competition. We all in this together.
Facts.
You black, we all in the same shit. Okay? It just might be a more sophisticated toilet.
Okay, yeah, your toilet might have a bidet on it.
But just in closing, one reason that we cannot communicate as black people is that we have forgotten that we need each other.
Yes. We have forgotten that we need each other. That is the biggest facts. I oftentimes say, and this is something that Chris Mateo loves, that I say, shout out to Chris Mateo in the building, the ID Dream Studios, our content team. But it's something that I say very often is I deeply understand that we are the answers to each other's prayers. Okay, there are specific things that I have that you don't have. But when we bring those things together, then we're creating more like that beloved community that our ancestors wanted us to exist in. And so that authentic reality of a human experience for us as people of color, melanated people, is going to be a liberation for you. Because at the end of the day, the system is set up for us to fight for a piece of pie together. I'm not fighting over a piece of pie. Y'all got germs. I'm not even sharing a fork with you niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely not gonna fight over a piece of pie with you. Okay? I'm figuring out how to make pie, and I'll figure out how to get some pie to more people. And I think if we have those mindsets, I think we will get past that. I definitely mirror a lot of the sentiment expressed on the right side. I mean, y'all all right over here. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, exactly. Look, and so, so now I think this will be my last question, and then we'll go into the audience. What can we do as media and publicity people to bring about more unity to our community as a whole? And I'm going to repeat that for the left side, okay? Okay. What can we do as media and publicity people to bring about more unity to our people as a whole?
I'll go first. I'm representing for the left side. So, I think the first thing to do is be self-aware. We need more self-awareness and more, we need definitely self-awareness, because it's hard for us to give a message if we don't really know who we are ourselves. So you always want to check the source. So if you're the source, you want to be self-aware. That's why I said using the word black and versus melanated. You really want to study what the word means and what status it puts you in when you answer to it. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I know you tread lightly on the left side.
Yes, please.
But as media people, I think that we have to use our platforms. We have to be self-aware, and we lack personal development in our community. So I think we need to really focus on a lot of personal development, a lot of self-awareness, and that part.
Ray, what are you laughing at? I'm trying to help you.
Hashtag left side, y'all. Team left side. That's the easiest. I got the easiest answer to that question.
Yes, quickly.
Yeah, it's gonna be quickly.
Do you want me to repeat the question?
No, I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
The answer to that question is just be as transparent as hell and be accountable and walk that walk and talk that talk. If you're gonna talk that talk, walk that walk. Go out. If you're gonna be transparent and accountable, just go to the community. Actually go out there and talk to the children, or go out there to the homeless and the people that you're talking about. Just be transparent and accountable. Like, make your platform count. Just don't be there just laughing, buffoonery. Go out to the kids. If you think the kids is like, you think the water boys is the problem, let's go have a conversation with the water boys. You know what I'm saying? So just be transparent and accountable, and be a person of the community, and be a person, voice your opinion and go out there and handle the business.
Okay, all right. So, what can we do as Black media and Black publicity people to bring about more unity in our community as a whole?
Start working together more to condense. There's a lot of cross sections and a lot of intersecting points that can happen. But it's probably the people are humble enough to say, well,
maybe don't be humble. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe a different word.
He don't like that word. He doesn't like the word humble.
No, we should cancel
I guess you could say willing, have an open heart and a willingness to work together with some people. One of the dopest partnerships that I love is how the Shade Room partnered with Flourish. So the creators of Flourish were some of the creators of One Music Fest, and they got all these Black businesses all in one location. And so where we all be? On the Shade Room. So Shade Room is now, outside of being shady, trying to push that platform to house all of the entrepreneurs in one location. Look what Pinky Cole just did. Hey, I'm going on a book tour. Send me your merchandise. I'm going to open all of your stuff online. Tag your business. If I wear it, I'm tagging your business. That takes nothing away from you, right? And so we have to use these platforms a little bit smarter. I was asleep. He called me. Hey, did you post about the event?
Sure did.
I did post it yesterday, but the story disappeared, but let me post it again.
Run that back.
In my nap, I didn't mind because you're doing something that you need publicity for, and I'm a part of it, right? So if I'm a part of it, I want it to succeed and to be dope as well. If I have a following with the K behind it, you should go ahead and post it, right? So I think it's not being selfish with the platform, or just being a little bit more responsible with it, not pushing out so much junk and negative stuff, but push out some more resources and combine the resources if you see that, hey, these two things go well together.
Yes, Aisha. Okay, because
You know, whenever we have access to power, not the proximity to power, but actually have power to make decisions, we should be about the business of putting people on. So
yes,
I started 27 years ago. There was this brother from New Orleans that would send me videos. I'm a young producer. That person was Master P.
okay.
So I helped launch people like Master P, Maxwell, Erykah Badu, Anthony David, Divinity Rocks, who ended up touring with Beyonce, Anthony David, Slick and Rose, Rez the Beatnik. I've always been the person to put other folks on.
Right.
If we put ourselves on, we don't need any white validation. So when we have power, our power needs to be about putting people on and putting the best of us on.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And so we have enough of the worst of us.
Fuckery.
Yep. So we have to use our power to present progressive and empowering images that inspire the next generation that comes after.
Yes, I like that. I like that. I like that. All right, so I'll answer the question also. This is left side over here for me. I'm right-handed, just for the record. Yes, look, and so this is left side over here for me. So I think a couple of things that we can, I definitely mirror a lot of the sentiment expressed on the right side. You know, I mean, y'all was all right over here this time, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? But I think one of the things is, one key ingredient is just to tap back into the reality of what it means to move in a pack. It's like now, if there's actually literally some primal some information that talks about that strength in numbers. You feel when you go out and you with your homeboys, you feel unbeatable, unstoppable, all those things. When you get together with your girls and you guys are all, you know, litty and y'all about to be in the city, there's a power that you feel. But what happens is our oppressors have us in such divisive mindsets. We can't wait to fall out with each other. We can't wait to stop fucking with you. We can't wait to stop doing business with you. We can't wait to, and so all of those things put us on a path that only benefits our oppressors. And so I definitely think that we have to get past the divisive nature of who we've been programmed to be. And I think that we think that we're in free thought when we have these divisive mechanisms. We think it's us. Oh, I don't fuck with them. I'm cutting everybody off this year. And all that. But that's really just doing our oppressors' work for us. Okay? We need each other more than anyone else. And if we can get past that, we will be more connected. We will be in more of a symbiotic relationship with each other, and we'll be more helpful, and we'll be more healed. Because that hurt, the hurts that we harbor and run around with, it don't be the person. Okay? And it's like nowadays, I sit down and I talk to people, and I'm hiring people all the time. And when I talk to everyone, I don't want to work for nobody. I can't work for nobody. I don't have my own business. But you know what our oppressors are doing? Building vertical companies. Their companies are so vertical, they can just arbitrarily decide that they want to build spaceships and fly out of fucking space. And not through a space program, just through money. Okay? And so if we can ever get to the point where we can actually work together in authentic ways, we can build big companies where we can employ people. All of these solo entrepreneurs, I just want you to know, you're not helping our community if all you're making money for is yourself. Okay? If you're not employing other people, if you aren't putting other people in position to win, your business is not viable to our community as a whole. Okay? Employment, creating opportunities, those are keys. And then back to that thing about we are the answers to each other's prayers. That's another way that we foster a bit more unity in our people. Understanding that there's literally things that I don't have and I can't bring to the table that Shasha, even though she's on the left side, she brings them to the table. You know what I'm saying? There's things, there's doors I can't get into, but Aisha can get into them. There's places that I can't go that Ed can go. There's places that but anyway, so you know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I'd like to ask, do you guys have any questions from the audience?
Yes. Hey guys.
And if you could stand up, say your name, and then ask your question.
Okay.
And it's definitely everything for me.
My name is Cynthia. I work in media as well. So this was
Shout out to BET.
Period. Black faces, black stories. But I want to say this was very informative. I really enjoyed it. The left side and the right side. I took notes. And the middle. Everybody did great.
I like the left twig
Quick's better anyway.
Yeah, got it.
All great, all great. But my question is for the doc. You talk a lot about Black healing.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice for somebody that was trying to set out on a healing journey?
Set out on the healing journey.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is a good question.
I said great question, but you're gonna make it good. That's okay.
I mean, know that once you decide to heal, that you are going to have a little more pain attached than sunny days. I think we approach healing as this process where, hi, I have joy in the morning. Healing is a journey. All right, healing is a journey with ups and downs, stops and stars, and it takes a deep commitment to understand and have faith that your future can be greater. So in that healing journey, know that you are going to go through some shit, but it is necessary to get to the other side. And the other side of healing is growth. And also know that when you're in the healing process and it seems difficult, you don't know what to do, growth is happening.
Next question.
Hey, this is Darnell, Pinnacle Studios. Just piggybacking off that last question you asked, what's like one word or less, or it can't be less than one word, but what's that one thing that stops us from growing together? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, we just talked about some of those things, the divisiveness and
what's that?
I can never be reduced to one word, so that's just, that could just never happen for me.
Ego.
Ego.
Left side, do you guys want to endeavor one word?
I think she said it, ego.
Yeah.
It's the
All right.
big bad ego. Your ego could be your worst amigo.
Hey, okay, ego worst amigo, one word, but I mean, it's the left side, so we just, all right, any other questions?
I have a question. Hi, my name is Nikira with Two Idle Minds.
Hey, Nikira.
Hi.
It's just for us.
Yeah, so it seems like Atlanta has a lot of talent and a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of resources here.
It's count.
But Atlanta has a lot of talent. But I find that there is, when you talk about places like LA, like New York and other places, what Atlanta seems to not have is the bridge that connects the talent to the resources that can take them to that next level.
Well, hire the Resource Guild, just for the record. That's literally what I do for a living, but keep going.
My question is, what is it, why is that bridge not here? Even like when you talk about the films and the studios that's coming in, they're not hiring local talent, they're bringing in talent to do the job and do the work here. So my question is, why is there not that bridge to the resources and the talent and the positions and stuff that's already here within Atlanta? Because if not, we're going to miss the ecosystem of building that's being brought in this building within somewhere where we've already established.
I would say from being born and raised here, Atlanta still seeks validation in New York and LA for like Atlanta has to validate its damn self. So I think part of that is that in Atlanta, unfortunately, we wait for LA and all these other major markets to validate us before we are hired. And I think we have to do a better job of validating ourselves and coming together to create vehicles, kind of what Brother Dickey was saying, vehicles that showcase our talent where we work together to validate ourselves. But that's what I see. Atlanta has it has lost its sweet tea flow. Like Atlanta is in this purgatory of trying to be everything but what it is.
I want to ask that. Can I ask that question? The left side.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, because I mean, I think that when I look at it, even when you look at like some of the larger establishments, like we do a lot of work with the entertainment community, it's not like Black-owned establishments,
Gotcha.
and especially the larger ones that's here. When you talk about the big companies that's getting things done, even when you're hiring, they may hire some Black, but it's still largely white-owned, white-produced, white-directed, white gate block, right? So that sort of becomes the question is, how is it that we have some very influential people, influential Blacks that's from Atlanta, that's done really big things, but it's not being put back into the community, and definitely not being a bridge to do a step up.
From a media perspective, I can tell you that it has to deal with tax breaks.
Ooh, okay.
So they're coming in for the tax break, and they're getting ridiculous amounts of money off. And so you want to just keep it in a box to your people because it's cheaper for you to do that way. So it's all in the business structure. So all of these companies that are coming, my own agency relocated here. I'm a member of United Talent Agency, some of the biggest things that you can think of. There is no tap in for my agent here. He knows nothing about it. It's gonna be for all of the LA and New York clients. And so it's almost like, if you're my agent and you work with the company, we just opened an office in Atlanta, you don't know how to get me to be on the snap. I just want to read the lines from the snap and on the ID. I just want to do something a little fun, a little different. You don't know nothing about it. He's like, yeah, no, I will have to connect you to the New York office. And so their business structure is based on, hey, I'm going to get this amount of money to come into Atlanta, but there is no attachment. This is super political. There is no attachment, a part of these agreements that says, think gentrification.
Right.
If you live on gentrified West Side, off Bankhead, in which I do, in my community.
You mean Donald Lee Hollowell, okay, for the record.
It's Bankhead. You gotta keep these two low-income apartment complexes with these $800,000 homes. You cannot put these people out. There is no line item in the agreement that says you have to hire 60% from Atlanta. It's not a requirement. And so the business structure does not make them integrate Atlanta. And that's the issue. Yeah. So that's why you don't see like these big job fairs. Like it should be like State Farm should be job fairs for, you know, with all these jobs, they're already filled. They came already filled. There were no openings because they didn't have to.
I think a lot of it has to do with like bandwagoning too. Like a lot of clout chasing. Like people, you could be really dope, but people don't want to rock with you if your name is not this. Or if your name is not that, you don't already have the clout. Everybody wants to clout chase the next person instead of actually taking dope people and building them up, you know, from the inside, within, and then, you know, you don't have to bandwagon and just clout chase all the time. It's like dope people right in front of your face, but if they don't have that name or that bag, nobody's looking at them. They're not interested. So I think it's a lot of clout chasing.
All right, last question.
How's it going? Amazing panel, guys. My question is...
And who are you?
I'm Chris Mateo. I work with everything. So that's my brother. My question is, as I've been doing media for 10 years, production, back end stuff as well, and my goal working with Daniel and all the stuff we do is like how we could build the biggest, you know what I'm saying, the biggest empire, the Disney World of our culture in our own way. And like, what do you guys think is like some key elements that you guys see from your perspectives in the business that would be foundational to make that occur? You know what I'm saying?
A lot of money.
I mean, well, that's apparent. But besides that, I think we, in our community, we have a lot of money at this point.
Do we? Yes, Cap.
I want to build on that.
We look like, some of us look like a lot of money. Some of y'all.
Well, let's first start with this room, okay? There's a lot of people in here is very capable of making things happen, and I think if we all got together, we can make something happen tomorrow. I'm going to give you your flowers, first and foremost. Let's give Mr. Daniel Dickey his flowers for bringing us all together. I'm very big on bringing people together. Like, we got my man Big Shot Radio here in the building. I invited him here. He's one of our bosses, our platforms that we do our radio show on. I got two idol minds in the building who, wow, they do amazing things. They're not going to say it, but Erica just got off the road with Lizzo. Give her a round. Could you put your hand? Like I'm saying, so it's a lot of people in this room.
Man,
so I
she
think
put her hand. Who was the person?
She's right there. She
don't
like taking credit for anything.
Remember we talked about humble. That's not what we're here for. Like, just be who you actually are. I think that's better than being humble, is to be accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, to not cap or underwhelm us with who you are, but just to actually stand in the space that God gave you to be who you actually are. And there's nothing being humble isn't helpful to our people because our next generations will never benefit from our anonymity.
Absolutely. And like when Mr. Daniel Dickey says ask a question, right? It should be more than just one person standing up asking the question. So that's where it starts. Ask your questions. Ask your names, where you live, what you do. It's a lot of power right here in the room, more than you know.
Facts. Those are the biggest facts.
Right. So that's where it starts. It starts with this room. All right. Give God the glory.
I got one thing to add. Have a mental health component. Like we underappreciate how important it is, especially in the entertainment industry, to have a sound mind, spirit, and soul. Have a mental health component.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for this panel. All right. So that was a little, maybe y'all didn't expect me to ask for you to clap for these people or something, because I want to run that back one more time. Put your hands together for Black excellence. And speaking of Black excellence, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that we are sitting in a precipice for Black excellence.
We've got fuel for you and your children. From Catskills,
Anything else, Randy? Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, let me tell you when to hit the button, okay, Randy? All right, so put your hands together for Black excellence one more time since I was really interrupted. So, guys, this building is called the Legacy Center. And if you don't know the story of the Legacy Center, this building is owned by 15,000 people of color, purchased through the largest crowdfund in African American history. So what we're doing here with this building, as you see your ancestors on the walls, very unapologetically, opulently, that's what we are doing at the Legacy Center. You can definitely always tap into this space. It's a co-working space. It's a film and television production space. There's a psych wall in the back and all kinds of things. And on behalf of my team at the Resource Guild, Randy, who I'm still not ready for you to press play. Look, I want to thank each and every one of these extraordinary panelists. I appreciate you guys so much. Yes, look, including the left side. And I just want to say, I thank you guys for coming. We do this every month. It's an event that we've been doing for almost 2 years. And we'll be back next month. And if you're on our email list, which you did this guy right here in the back, he always has this look like, what are you talking about, Willis? What is this? What you talking about, Willis? Look, it's throwing me off a little bit. I'm talking about I mean everything I'm saying. It's you, Mr. What are you talking about, Willis? Look, right? You see it. But in any case, thank you guys for coming out. We're going to take a group photo here. I encourage you guys to get more drinks.